Dolian, or Element. I'll cover that when I get up there. So, right now, we've already hit 2,000, but our speed's a little low, but we're going to go ahead and start our gravity turn. And, what you want to do is... Yeah. You don't want your apoapsis to go over 80 while you're climbing. Yeah, I shouldn't be turning right now. I should wait. Feos, what's up, buddy? Welcome in. Thank you for the 20 months. That's insane. It's almost 2 years, buddy. How are you today? Happy Tuesday. So I'm throttling down to keep my TWR below 2. 2 is like the higher threshold of the sweet spot, in my opinion. And I'm starting to turn my rocket to get it to turn. If you go to map mode, you can see you're starting to get that curve. You need to start flattening that curve and raising it at the same time. That way you can have a nice round circle. So I'm going to keep throttling, keep myself moving around. However you want to do this part, as long as you can get it nice and circular, it doesn't matter. Different strokes for different folks. Some people have different ways of burning. Others have more ways. Some of them are more efficient than others. But if you find something that works for you, then make it happen. Now your apoapsis, I would say for starters, try to get it around 75 and then don't accelerate. So once you get to 75, you want to kill the throttle. It's the X key on your keyboard, or if you're using PlayStation, whatever. So kill your throttle and just kind of float for a while. And you want to make your rocket horizontal. Put it right at the 90-degree mark and have it horizontal. If you have the timer, use the timer to your benefit. If you don't and you only have the number, try to look at your altimeter and try to get as close as possible. What you want to do is pretend like you're blowing a balloon. When you blow into a balloon, the more you blow, the bigger the balloon gets. But it also turns into a big, like, elliptical circle. That's when you're burning to orbit. Now, if you were to change that and blow at different areas, you'll get a more circular balloon and not an oval-shaped balloon. So as we get closer to apoapsis is when we want to start burning again. That way we're not being too elliptical. Hope that makes any sense. Just spent 2 days mowing 2 acres of 3-foot-high grass. It sucks. Push mower or ride mower? And I'm doing great. 10 foil, it's good to see you. So we're going to wait till like 20 seconds to start burning again. Full blast. And you want to wait for this number to count up. Bahan to me, we've been to the moon quite a few times, my friend. And then we're going to stage. We got a second stage here. So we're not going to make it in time. So we're going to pick up a little bit to push our apoapsis out a little further. So we're gonna lose a little bit of height here, or gain a little bit of height. Did I use a scythe? I don't think he used a scythe. Riding mower, luckily. Awesome. So what we're doing right now is we're really close to the apoapsis. We're right next to it, and we're trying to keep it ahead of us while also circularizing. So right now we're starting to push it further away, and you want to keep it like right on or right close. So if you see it counting down, make sure you pick yourself back up again a little bit. This wastes a lot of delta V, but once you find something that works for you, it gets kind of easy to do. And you can see our periapsis coming up. We're starting to get a little further away from apoapsis. I'm going to kill the throttle and wait. We're at 76 by 25, which is almost circular. Then we're going to burn just a little bit more. 76 by 74. You're in orbit, okay? So now this is the difficult part, the part that people have a problem with. You want to rendezvous with the ship. Now, rendezvousing with the ship is an easy and a hard task at the same time. It involves a lot of things that you got to do. First thing you want to do in the map mode is you want to set this as a target. Set it as a target. You're going to see some arrows pop up. See if your orbit crosses their orbit, and if it does, you'll see some arrows, and this is your intersect point. That's the close that when you are here, they're going to be there. So they're 266 kilometers away. At this point, you want to make a maneuver node, add a maneuver, go down here into your maneuver node, and there's going to be a little button right here to plus orbit. Plus your orbit a few times and see which way that moves. You see how it's moving away? You can either click it, your orbit, until you go all the way back around, or you can try to adjust your burn a little bit and move the arrows yourself. But you see how we're 41 kilometers away in 3 days. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to accelerate. You don't have to decelerate or anything. Was that an AoE soundbite? It sure was. So what we're going to do is we're going to warp to the next maneuver. And it's going to take us 3 days in the future. Now, in these 3 days, because our orbits are different, we're moving around, we're passing each other probably, and we're going to get to a point here to where the next time we intersect, we're super duper close in the grand scheme of things. So we're going to warp to just before that point, and we're going to change our heading on our nav ball to target. And then what you want to do is you want to burn retrograde to target. That way you are slowing down. You're matching their speed. So right now we're going 127 meters a second faster. We're going to burn. As this goes down, you're going to notice that these start to move and shake and your orbit changes and everything else. If you right click on a node, it'll save it. So you can kind of track it as you go along. Now we have a set of purple nodes. Orange is your first intersect, purple is your second. So you can watch both if you want, see which one comes up to the closest. Here's one right here that's coming up to 3 meters. But here's the problem with that. Our periapsis is now 45,000, which is below the Kerman line. But our apoapsis is 95. So we're going to be right in between the two, so we can probably shake this and not be dipping into the atmosphere. So we're going to run with this one. 1 kilometer intersect. I'm going to turn off this one for now. Turn off that one for now. We're going to then warp to this point. We're not going to do anything else. We're just going to warp to that point where we're closest. And we're going to do the same thing again. It's going to glitch a little bit. It's being weird, but once we slow down, it'll fix. So here, you're going to do the same thing. We're going to slow down 76 meters a second. You ready? We going. As we slow down, you'll see this thing right here get smaller and smaller. And you can see our orbit fix each other because we're trying to align with this ship. So as we kill the speed, get as close to 0 as possible if you can. Feather your throttle. Without looking at anything else, look at our orbits. They're almost in line. They're almost perfect. So now you want to aim at target. Target is your purple, your pink node here that looks like a crosshair for like a fighter jet or something like that. Aim there and burn just a little bit, just enough to get those orange arrows to kind of move and shake ahead of you. You see where it says separation 3 kilometers? You want to get that as close to 0 as possible. 1.1, 500 meters, 400 meters, 300 meters, 200 meters, 100 meters. You can try to get closer if you want to, but you really don't have to. Go back to retrograde target. You're hitting it in 45 seconds. You can warp closer there if you want to. This is going to be your last burn to catch them. Kill your speed. When you kill your speed, you're pretty much going to be right next to them. So after you do this, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Leave map mode. There's your target right there. So now you can see it. Now, if you really want to, you can keep repeating that process over and over again. So we can aim at target. Just know it gets a little more dangerous the closer you get. We'll aim at target. We'll burn just a little bit to get it moving. We'll turn ourselves back around. That way we can slow back down. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make sure you slow down. Retrograde to target. There we go. We're 7 meters away. So you don't have to be this close, but once you're this close, you just hop over to the pod. You EVA your Kerbal. You let go. You rock it over to your ship. And then you grab on. And then once you grab on, you board, and you're done. Now you have the Kerbal secured. All you gotta do now is deorbit and come home. So I would usually aim away from this target, like normal, anti-normal, and burn away just a hair to get it moving away. Go back to orbit view. Burn retrograde. Get your periapses 55, 50. And there you go. You're coming home. And that's all you got to do. So then we're going to come home. 86, 85, 4, 3, 2, 1. 70. We're in atmosphere now, so we're going to go ahead and burn our engine. Take out the rest of the fuel, slow ourselves down. It'll turn because we've deorbited. You're not going to have this much fuel. You might, but you probably won't have this much fuel. Just make sure you get in and you're able to survive. I really don't want to land in the mountains, but we might land in the mountains. Let's get a little bit past the mountains. I don't want to land in the mountains. Those are dangerous. You roll and everything blows up and everybody dies, and I don't feel like doing that. Use your quick save and your quick load. It's going to be your best friends. That's a pretty good spot right here. Let's just land here somewhere. We're not going to land exactly here, but we're away from the mountains, so. And yeah, Dolian, the maneuver node is actually a lot more powerful than that maneuver mode. I can show you some more things in the future if you want to, hang around a little bit. I'm playing Kerbal right now, Sunday, Mondays, and Tuesdays every week. So today's our last day this week. But if you ever had any questions, I don't mind showing people how to play. Especially if it's something I know how to do. Orbital rendezvous are pretty easy to me now. So we're going to run ourselves out of fuel. Turn ourselves sideways. Deploy the chutes. And that's it. And then we're coming down. I don't know if we have enough chutes or not, but we'll figure out here in just a minute. That's going to spiral out of control and go land somewhere else. We're going to re-enter, shoot, deploy. Change ourselves to elevation, that way we know where we're going. You were using 200 to 400 to reach the pond. By then I had less than 100 to orbit, and I wasn't even close to meeting speed. That's why pay attention to where their orbit is and try to meet that orbit while you're launching. If they're at 85 by 80, try to get close to 85 by 80. If you're 82 by 79, you're perfect. Because you want to be different, that way you have a way of catching them. If you're the exact same orbit, it's going to take you hundreds of years to catch them. Which is why I said if you are that close, right exact, you can burn a little bit and make your orbit just a little bit different. That way when you progress your orbits using the maneuver mode, you can see those arrows start to get close and line up. You don't have to be like super duper close, but if you're closer than a couple hundred kilometers, you can make a big difference in your ability to rendezvous. So we're coming down at 10 meters a second. I probably want to jettison that. 8. That's still a little rough. I was trying to use less chutes to save some mass, but I think I need 2 chutes for this. Let's see how hard we hit. Please be gentle. All right, we're fine. And there we go. Recovered. So yeah, that's how you do it right there. That took 15 minutes. It just takes practice. And once you get it done, I would say right before you launch, F5 or something, do it, and then when you're successful, reload it and do it again. Practice yourself over and over again. And then when you get missions like I have here, where there's a guy out here past the Mun, there's a guy out here beyond the Mun, that's when things get interesting. That's when you guys start worrying about how much fuel you have. And you can also contemplate using a probe to get him and not an actual Kerbal, because that could, be more weight or less weight. Debris. We're recover, and we're good. Bah Hunt to me, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Svoid is welcome. It's good to see you. Happy Tuesday. Screw that, Dolian. You want to see something else? You say screw that, but check this out. There's a Kerbal stuck around the Mun. The further you get, they'll be stuck around the Mun. They'll be stuck around Eve. They'll be stuck around Jewel. They'll be stuck around the Sun. They'll be everywhere, dude. And you'll be like, what am I supposed to do? But once you learn and repeat and you figure it out, it all becomes easy. It all comes down to how much fuel you have and how efficient you can be with your burns. So, I need to put that ship back out there again because we need that ship. I need that ship. Who leaves those Kerbals everywhere? They do. They get themselves stuck out there, Floody. That's why they're by themselves in a tin can. All right, this is going to be a scientist and a pilot going into orbit. And then we're going to launch another rocket the same way and put another pair out there. We're going to take them to the Mun. We have to rendezvous and connect them as part of a mission. I want to put some fuel out there too. That way we can have some repetitive fuel around the Mun. Put some fuel around Kerbal. And then we're good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. But yeah, your TWR is important. You want to have at least 1.2 when you launch. I'm a little low because of my current challenge that I'm working on. I'm trying to keep all of my rockets under 50 tons, and it's dangerous. You have a space station yet? Nope. Not yet. We can start making a space station now, but I don't have a reason to. I was kind of waiting until I got a mission to put an orbital station around Kerbal. That way I can make money off of it too. Nope, I got a Minmus ground station, and that's all I've got currently. We've got a Kerbalist probe in orbit and one on escape velocity heading into the orbit with the Sun. Dolian, good luck, my friends. Once you figure the little itty bitty bits and pieces like that in orbit and stuff, the game gets infinitely more fun. Because then you're just like, oh, orbit, great. Now, if you want to, instead of having to look back in the VOD and everything else, I actually have a tutorial video on my YouTube. Check the playlist under Kerbal Space Program, and I have a Kerbal Rendezvous tutorial. That way you can watch it and play it back over and over again. And I pretty much say the same thing I said here. But I'm more in depth with it, and if you like the way I explain things, that's a really good place to go to. You know, just in case. Hashtag subscribe. Hashtag please. Always looking for more people to add to the community. Alright, let's go. These wings don't do anything, by the way. I added them to see if they would help, and they didn't. Try to read a tutorial and watch Scott Manley, but his video is hella old. I have a hard time understanding him sometimes. I love him to death. I met him at TwitchCon. We had a drink together. I can't understand anything he says most of the time. He's a heavy Scotsman. Hello, Scott Manley here. Yep, you sure are. I want to make a refuel ship that docks a fuel part to a station and then undocks from the fuel pod, just leaving the fuel pod attached. But I have issues with the docking clamps and couplers. Is there a smart way to do that? I want to make a refuel ship that docks a fuel part. So like a tug or a delivery. It locks up and has it, then it detaches. Just leaving the fuel pod attached. But I have issues with the docking clamps and couplers. So you're not going to get it done with couplers. You're going to need docking ports. Do you have docking ports? The docking port areas are odd though, getting shrouds and stuff. So Floody, how long do you have to hang out here? Because if you give me a few minutes, we're about ready to put some fuel up into space for these ships. And I'll show you about what to do if you want to hang around for a little bit. Plenty of time? All right. Give me like 20 minutes. Let me get this ship into orbit. We'll put some fuel out there, and I'll do what you're wanting to do, and I'll show you how to do it. And hopefully it gives you a pretty good idea, because we're gonna rendezvous with this, dock it, and then detach it. Trying to push this thing as hard as possible. We're gonna stage. I need to go up. And stage. Yeah, I was reading chat and not burning the proper way. We're gonna lose some Delta V, but I don't care. This is a really fat lander. We're shipping it up with half fuel. We're gonna refuel it around Kerbal. We're gonna ship 2 like this, but I'm gonna ship the second one after I put fuel up. I'm gonna show you, and then we'll ship the second one of these out. I'm just making sure I get around. I don't want to lose anything right now. 10 seconds. All right, let's put it back sideways. 7, 6, 5 seconds. We'll pull it back up again. I like keeping the apoapsis like right in front of us. It's almost like you're running a hand across like a pottery wheel and you're shaping a bowl. You got your thumbs right on the apoapsis and you're trying to make the perfect circular orbit. So sometimes you push in a little bit like this. Sometimes you back off a little bit. You let it ride out a tad. Get ahead of you a bit. Get back in with your thumbs. And when you see it go too far out like that, you want to wait a little bit. Take your hands off of it. Let it spin a little bit. We'll come out to here. Burn it around. 5, 6, 7. 79 by 76. Beautiful. All right. So these guys are here. We've got our pod. That's number 1. Space Center. So yeah, let me figure out a fuel tank to put up there, and then I'll show you what to do. I think I could put an entire 1.8 10-tonner out there. I think I should be able to. Like what I just did there, I can put. But I gotta be careful. Is that the stock command module? This one, no. This is from Making History. This is 1.8 architecture. You're not going to have access to that. You're probably going to have to use one of these re-entry modules, these Ps. And it's not going to be fun. These things suck. You're probably going to have to use one of those. Or if you're feeling cheeky, you can put 2 of these together like that. Just know that it's going to be a little unstable. People do that. Alright, save this. How much is this upper stage? It weighs 10.5 tons. Okay. So we're gonna do a new one. Yeah, Floody, it's still on sale now. It's pretty good for 25 bucks. If you saw what I've put into orbit already, Dolian, dude, I've got 1,200 hours in this game. I've put some crazy stuff into orbit, some weird looking stuff. Hella ugly. As long as it works, it doesn't matter how it looks. Don't worry about it. 10-ton fuel. Okay, so we're gonna go with a probe. We're gonna take this probe. Oh, hold on. Move it. Hibernate in warp. Auto strut. And then I'm going to put a docking port on it. Docking port junior. Okay? So we're going to do that. We're going to pop this up here. We need the run-of-the-mill stuff. We need a control wheel. We need batteries. And then I need solar power. We can worry about that after we put the fuel tank on. I want this fuel tank to go. Push it up like that. Docking port. And then I'm gonna put solar panels on this. Just little these. And then I would like to, it's gonna be, man, that's gonna be really tough. Let me grab an adapter. That one's too small. That one's too big. That one's too small. That one's too big. No! No! All right. Let me get a fuel adapter. Nope, too small. Here we go. Empty you. How much weight does that add? Let me see. Half of a ton? Gross. Gross. I hate it. There we go. Okay. So we're going to do that on that end. This end's going to just be a regular docking port because I don't have to make it look special. Now, here's the cool thing about docking ports, Floody, that you might not know, but you also probably do know. You can make a docking port act as a decoupler. See where it says enable staging? You can have it decouple from another piece. So just in case you wanted to do that and save some pieces and stuff, you can do that. So this is going to be, well, I don't think we need that there. We don't need that part there, but just that's for you to know in the future. I just need an engine on it. 5376 at 0.54. Yeah, I don't care about all that stuff. So here is our fuel tank. And then we got to get this up into space. Might have to take some of the fuel out of it. Or change the size of the tank. Let's go here. Let's start off with one of these first. Let's go a little smaller. $9 tons. Okay, that's fine. That's smaller. Make it orange because I like orange. And then I need to use an engine plate. That may or may not need an option enabled. I know for auto strut menu to pop up, there was a setting that I had to enable somewhere in the options. It's called advanced tweakables. And that's one of the best things you can turn on. 9.3 tons. We'll do that. It's okay if we use a little bit of fuel. You got those on? Okay, so you should be fine. Let's get this thing out of here. So, let me back this up one step. Because I'm not showing you what you want to do, but I'll still show it to you. I was gonna set one whole piece up, but I'm gonna do you one better. Uh-oh. Take that off.